My name is Elfaz Magenyo. I'm originally from Ethiopia. I came to Australia in 2018 as a refugee. Currently, I'm studying nursing and will be graduating in 2 months' time. I'm a peer leader at Third Queer Culture with TQC.
My name is Tiko. I'm currently a doctoral researcher at the School of Public Health, University of Queensland, and I'm volunteering here with the Third Queer Culture as the peer leader. What Third Queer Culture is trying to provide is this belonging where people can actually develop their own understanding and their own ways of being queer without having to feel like they have to choose between their ethnic-based culture or their sexual and gender identities.
As we know, a lot of refugees and asylum seekers come to Australia and they don't have a social circle. They don't have friends there, they don't have family, and they don't identify as a straight person, or they don't belong to a certain group.
There are two things that I find has been quite traumatizing for me. One is to face the uncertainties in navigating Australia's immigration system, especially because since Tampa tragedy in early 2000, the refugee system in Australia has been increasingly become more inhuman in the way that it treats refugees.
I have Ethiopian community, the straight community, but I don't really belong with them because I'm gay, and there is plenty of queer organizations, queer groups in Brisbane, but at the same time I don't feel like I associate or belong with them. So that's why we needed to create a third queer culture, which is celebrating queerness and seeking safety, being a refugee and asylum seeker.
The other thing is to face racism and xenophobia, mainly built through how we are being portrayed in the media as refugees that really affects our everyday life. I volunteer my time to facilitate Third Queer Culture because I feel like that it is not enough just to try to find where I can feel like I belong in this country. The funding from Pride Foundation Australia has been extremely helpful for us to establish a group in Brisbane for queer refugees. Through the funding, we were trusted to develop our own process of developing this queer peer support group. We were able to conduct community consultations with other stakeholders in other states and also within Queensland. And that process of doing community consultations were integral in how we actually conceptualize and develop Third Queer Culture. My experience in working with Pride Foundation Australia has been really good. First of all, they really trust the value of lived experience. And what that means is, as a queer refugee, I was allowed to actually develop my own way of developing this third queer culture. And that, I think, is the most important thing when it comes to supporting queer refugees, to trust us and our lived experience. If you are thinking about donating to Pride Foundation Australia, please know that your donation is making a huge social impact immediately to urgent issues that matters for queer people, especially queer refugees and asylum seekers.